Hi guys, so we will be using two decks today, and this is going to be your full moon reading. We have a full moon coming in on October 1st, so this is going to be your full moon reading. We're going to be using two decks today, the animal tarot cards, and looking at your overall message from the universe. And then we are looking at your karma cards, what actions you need to be taking at this time. And we're going to be taking a look at the house card that comes out, and what house you need to be paying attention to. So let's go ahead and start with the animal tarot card. And this is going to be covering your reading from the first, let me just check the dates. So this is going to be covering your reading from the 1st of October until the 5th. So the 1st until the 5th. Alright, so let's go ahead and get started with Libra. Libra's message from the universe. Libra message from the universe. Okay, this flew out. 7 of Summer. Maine Coon Kitten. It's time to stop procrastinating and make a decision so that you can move forward with a priority. If you need to do more research, then do so, but don't overthink the situation. Listen to your heart. We'll move these so that we can put the cards there. Okay. Now, as you guys know, the karma cards has two sides. The action side is going to be in red. And let me just clear the energy here a little bit. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and take a look here at your planet signs and houses for Libra. What do you need to be paying attention to at this time for the full moon? Do you need to be paying attention to at this time for the full moon? What do you need to be paying attention to at this time for the full moon? All right. Planets. For your planets card, you have the North Node. And for your signs card, you have in Pisces. And for your houses card, you have the 7th house. So your action message on spiritual: have faith in your dreams diplomatically. Mentally, do not worry about your idealization of relationships. Physically, now is the time to be part of something overwhelming and get a fair deal. So in your house position, you have the 7th house. And see here. So 7th house is representing your relationships. So that's where your focus needs to be, in your 7th house on relationships. Now for Libra, this can also be a house of litigation, where disputes between parties are settled. This is where you need to pay attention to where your relationship comes into the bigger picture. In your planet sign, you had North Node. Which normally indicates a yes. In situations. But I'm more feeling that you're needing to focus more on your 7th house right now. Okay, let's go ahead and move on to Gemini. Gemini's message. Gemini's message from the universe. And this is, sorry, forgot to take that one up. This is Arabian horse, the chariot. You can successfully balance various or opposing energies at once through determination and focus. You've earned the rewards and recognition you're receiving. So we're going to take a look at what Gemini needs to be doing, paying attention to at this time during the full moon. What does Gemini need to pay attention to at this time during the full moon? You have Mars in your planets. Does Gemini need to pay attention to at this time in the full moon? For your signs in Gemini, so that's your energy right there. And does Gemini need to pay attention at this time for the full moon? And you have the 7th house. So your message is, on a spiritual level, energize what you want to be known diplomatically. Energize what you want to be known diplomatically. Mentally, confront what is believed about relationships. Physically, force yourself to use the quickest way and get a fair deal. And you have also the 7th house. The 7th house is representing relationships. Let's see what we have for Gemini in the 7th house. So in this house, I think you're more drawn to dialogue with others and relationships. You need to learn to articulate others. This can mean how you project yourself. So paying attention to the 7th house there on relationships. That's what I have for Gemini. Moving on next to Aquarius. Aquarius message from the universe. Aquarius message from the universe. King of Autumn. Gypsy Vanner Horse. Everything's going to turn out great. Projects will be stunningly successful. Exciting new career opportunities are possible, and money or resources that come your way will be invested wisely. All right. Let's take a look at what the Karma cards has to say for what Aquarius needs to be doing at this time during the full moon. What Aquarius needs to be doing at this time during the full moon. What Aquarius needs to be doing at this time during the full moon. You also have Mars. What does Aquarius need to be doing at this time during the full moon? in your signs, actually in your house's position, you have the second house. What does Aquarius need to be doing at this time for the full moon? And in your signs position, you have in Gemini. So taking a look at your message, energize what you want to be known patiently. Mentally, confront what is believed about what you want. Physically, force yourself to use the quickest way and get what you need. In your house position, you have the second house. Second house. Second house is your possessions, your money, and your finances. Personal income, financial resources, movable property. So in this house, you have to make sure everyone gets a slice of the cake and value gifts of the intellect above possessions. This is where you build resources, your worth and your value and your material possessions. Okay, that's what I have for Aquarius. Let's moving on next to Scorpio. Sorry. Scorpio's message from the universe. Scorpio's message from the universe. Scorpio's message from the universe. Firefly. Take time for contemplation to retreat and go within. Be a beacon for others on their path to spiritual enlightenment. And this is the Hermit. This is where you go in intuitively. And number 9. All right. Taking a look at the karma cards, what does Scorpio need to pay attention to during the full moon? What does Scorpio need to pay attention to during the full moon? You've got in your planet's position Uranus. Scorpio need to pay attention to at this time during the full moon. In your signs in Cancer. And you have houses in your 10th house. So taking a look at the messages for you, stir up the situation by using your feelings responsibly. Mentally, be open to new ideas about attitude from the past and from the past about success. Physically, invent a way to use your intuition and become a person of power and status. So what house you need to be paying attention to is your 10th house. Your 10th house for Scorpio. Tenth house is your career and vocation. Your public image, what you do for a living, achievement and success. So this is where you need to grit and use your determination, characterize your professional path. So I'm more getting you're seeking credit for your achievements and you want to flourish. Okay, that's what I have for Scorpio. Moving on next to Cancer. Cancer's message from the universe. Cancer's message from the universe. Cancer's message from the universe. Nine of Autumn, Ragdoll Cat. Your success has brought you financial security and the reward of much-deserved time off to enjoy your own company. You may suddenly have a brilliant idea for a business or self-employment opportunity that will be very successful. And this is 9 of Autumn. All right. Now we are looking at what Cancer needs to be doing during this time for the full moon. What does Cancer need to pay attention to during this time for the full moon? Your planets in Neptune. Your signs in Taurus. And your house in 12th house. So your message is inspire others with your beliefs, seeking oneness with all there is. Mentally, be prepared to sacrifice for the cost of philanthropy. Physically, yielding is the only way to use the most direct way and keep your involvement hidden. Okay. So your house came out in the 12th house. So 12th house, let's take a look at what you need to be paying attention to for that house. 12th house is service and sacrifice. So this is your role behind the scenes, like a nurse and a caretaker. So this is where you come out and you look after those who are unable to look after themselves. This is like the bigger picture, your higher self, and how you mentally use your powers, you know. So this is kind of like self-doing. All right, that's what you need to pay attention to, your 12th house. So let's go ahead and take a look at, actually, let's go ahead and move on to the next sign. Pisces. Pisces message from the universe. Pisces message from the universe. What is Pisces message from the universe? Pisces message from the universe. Queen of Winter, experienced, self-sufficient, brilliant, funny. Leopard, all your life experiences have prepared you for this moment of truth. It is time to declutter your home, clear away situations that aren't working for you anymore, and disengage from people who create more drama than happiness. Now we're going to take a look at what Pisces need to be paying attention to during this time of the full moon. What does Pisces need to be paying attention to? In your planet's position, you have Pluto. In your sign's position, you have in Capricorn. In your house position, you have the 5th house. So your message: resurrect your goals with the trust of a child. Mentally, get to the heart of the day-to-day reality and get to the heart of the day-to-day reality of fun, romance, and making art. Physically, do or die. You must use the most business-like way and do it dramatically. This is your house card is in your 5th house. Fifth house is representing creativity and children. This is where you can lose yourself in a romantic affair or be taken for a ride. This is creativity, self-expression, recreation, taking chances, or your romantic aspect of your life. So, our activities here bring joy and delight. So this could be you needing to pay attention to all those aspects under your 5th house. That's what I have for Pisces. Now we are going to move on next to Leo. Leo's message from the universe. What is the message for Leo from the universe? Six of Winter, rescue cat, mixed breed. The challenging times are coming to an end and you can now breathe a sigh of relief. Let the past go and embrace the happier times ahead. Let's take a look at what Leo needs to be paying attention to during the time of the full moon. What does Leo need to pay attention to during this time of the full moon? What do you need to do during this time of the full moon? The North Node. In your signs in Aquarius. And in your house position, this is 8th house. So let's take a look at what your message is here. Have faith in your vision as a life or death issue. Mentally, do not worry about what new and different What's new and different about getting and using power? Physically, now is the time to use an unconventional way and you use other people resources. Okay, let's see. So taking a look at your 8th house. 8th house is where your focus needs to be. Eighth house, this is your intimacy and your shared possessions. So I'm more getting this is where your possessions come in aspects, shared money and assets. This is the territory of trust and mistrust and debt and financial obligation. This can also be the house of deep, dark, and mysteriousness. And it can also be the house of transformation. This is like suppressed emotions from the past. So that's where your focus needs to be, in your 8th house. Okay. Let's take a look and moving on next to Aries. Message from the universe for 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 Aries. Ace of Winter, Panda. Implementation of your brilliant new idea may get off to a rocky start, but keep going. The challenges will help you refine your plan and reshape your goal into something even better. Taking a look here at what Aries needs to pay attention to or do while for the full moon. What does Aries need to pay attention to or do for the full moon? We have the Sun in your planet position, and we have in Sagittarius for your signs position. And we have your 3rd house in your house position. What is your message? Your message spiritually. Demonstrate your highest ideals by making the right connections. Mentally, realize the rules of the idea in a question. Physically, act like a leader. Get it out to the world and get your ideas going. You need to pay attention to your 3rd house. 3rd house. 3rd house is communication. So like the card said, getting your ideas going. This is going to be how you communicate and language. Maybe more dealing with your siblings, your journey, your life environment, and your education. This is where you have cultivation of ideas and you learn to speak your thoughts directly. This is like assertion. This is where you need to assert yourself. So that's what I have for Aries. That's what you need to pay attention to, is your third house. Moving on next to Sagittarius. Sagittarius, message from the universe. Sagittarius, message from the universe. King of Winter, intelligent, impaired, respected, and unemotional. Humpback whale. All this time, it's very important that you communicate clearly, to be objective and unemotional, and act as professional as possible. If you need advice, seek out the most experienced expert you can find. Let's take a look at what Sagittarius needs to be paying attention to or doing at this time for the full moon. What does Sagittarius need to pay attention to or do at this time for the full moon? Planets in Pluto. Your signs in Aquarius. And you also have third house. Okay. What do we have here? So your message. Spiritually, resurrect your vision by making the right connections. Mentally, get to the heart of what's new and different about the idea in question. Physically, do or die. You must use a unconventional way and get your ideas going. You need to pay attention to your third house. Third house is communication. For Sagittarius, this is where you use your communication and language to express your ideas, how you interact with others around you, or how you use your education. So that's where you need to, what you need to pay attention to for the third, is the third house. Moving on next to Virgo. Virgo's message from the universe. What is Virgo's message from the universe? Justice. Number 8, elephant. Fair decisions will make after all the evidence is reviewed impartially. Have compassion for others and try to see all sides of a disagreement. Let's take a look at your karma cards. What does Virgo need to pay attention to at this time for the full moon? What does Virgo need to pay attention to or do at this time for the full moon? You got the South Node in planets. Does Virgo need to pay attention to it and do it this time for the full moon? In Taurus, for your signs. And in the 8th house for your house. So your message. Remember your beliefs as a life or death issue. Reconsider the cost of getting and using power. Now is not the time to use the most direct way and use other people's resources. So in your 8th house, for Virgo. This is your intimacy and your shared possessions. Here we can experience like loss and emotional crises, but also transformation. Intimacies of relationship and complexities of shared finances. So it might take you a while to process experiences of crises. But you can also bring to financial situations. So this is everything to do with possessions that are shared and intimacy, intimate relationships. It's what you need to pay attention to, your 8th house. Let's go ahead and move on next to Taurus. Taurus message from the universe. Taurus message from the universe. King of Summer. Penguin. A trustworthy person or relationship enter your life. You may receive wise and compassionate advice from someone who speaks directly from the heart. And it says King of Summer, warm-hearted, devoted, loving, faithful. All right. What does Taurus need to pay attention to at this time during the full moon? What does Taurus need to pay attention to at this time during the full moon? Four planets you have in Mars. This Taurus need to pay attention to. Signs you have in Scorpio. And houses you have the 5th house. So your message is energize the extraordinary power of prayer with the trust of a child. Mentally, confront the highest and lowest aspect of fun, romance, and making art. Physically, force yourself to control the situation and do it dramatically. What you need to be paying attention to is your 5th house. Fifth house representing creativity and children. So this is where you're going to use your choice of creative activity. This can also be the house of romantic encounters. This is recreation, taking chances, using your expression, and also romantic aspects of your life. So this way you need to pay attention to your 5th house. Let's go ahead and take a look at Capricorn's message, and that will be the last one, Capricorn. Capricorn's message from the universe. Capricorn's message from the universe. Capricorn's message from the universe. Six of Summer, Goose. The love and care of children could become an important part of your life, or people from your childhood may return to it. All memories can be healed, or possibly old childhood dreams are ready to be revived. So planets, taking a look at your karma cards, what does Capricorn need to pay attention to or do at this time for the full moon? What does Capricorn need to pay attention to or do at this time for the full moon? Okay, you have your planets in Neptune. What does Capricorn need to pay attention to or do at this time for the full moon? What does Capricorn need to pay attention to or do at this time for the full moon? You have your signs in Leo. And you have the 4th house. So let's take a look at what your messages are. Your message are: inspire others with leadership as you did in the past. Mentally, be prepared to sacrifice for the creativeness of your home base or your family. Physically, yielding to the only way to do what you want to and to do what makes you feel secure. And your house is 4th house. Let's take a look at what need to be paying attention to there for the 4th house. Fourth house, home and family. This is where your attention needs to be. So you may have a down-to-earth approach to matters of the home. You might feel that things are like all well organized. This is your ancestry, your history, your foundations, and your private world and your family. Your concept of what home is. The desire to belong, a sense of being. This is where you set foundations. So that's where you need to pay attention to your fourth house. Okay. So that is all that I have for everyone, and that was just our quick little reading for full moon reading. So thank you guys for watching, and join us again next time. Thanks.